Welcome to 5 a.m. Tuesday, where we unlock the power of choice to shape and transform your life. One Tuesday at a time. Hi, I'm Brenda, mindset author, speaker and coach, and your host. Joining me each week are remarkable guests who will shine a light on the phenomenon of choice. We'll discuss everyday topics with a fresh perspective, explore the neuroscience of decision-making, and look at how to navigate the endless options you face every day. Whether you hear something new or you get a timely reminder of what you already know, I believe there is no mistake you are here. Let us inspire you to choose consciously, choose wisely, and most importantly, to choose for you. Welcome again, listeners. Wow, have we got a treat for you again this week. Before we start, just a reminder to subscribe to whatever your channel of choice is to keep our program alive. And you'll want to be getting early alerts about conversations like the one we're about to have, because I have back with me Tanya, who is Cosmic Queen, and Tanya is going to share some beautiful information with us about what's happening astrologically with the rest of May and early June. And we just had a quick conversation before this that she's stopping at early June because there is so much amazing stuff happening. We don't want to overload you. Is that right, Tanya?
Absolutely, Brenda. May is phenomenal, like seriously phenomenal. There are so many amazing transits happening in May that if we start to go too far into June, I think I'm going to just overwhelm everybody. And you know me, I talk so much as it is anyway. We'll just keep it to May and early June.
We will. And I'll tell you what, listeners, you'll just have to go back and listen again, I suspect, because even I've been, speaking with you for, it's either 10 or 15 years. I think it's closer to 15. And I record everything whenever I have a reading with you because I always go back and listen to it again.
There's so much there. I know I talk a million miles an hour.
Well, I'm going to hand it over. Let's free flow with this and go for it. Tanya, tell us what's happening out there.
Great. Okay, so there's four main things that I'm going to touch on. First one being is there's a triple Venus-Uranus-Jupiter conjunction happening throughout May, which is phenomenal. And what sets this energy off is the new moon, which is coming up on the 7th to 8th of May. We've also got Jupiter in sextile to Neptune, which is just magical energy. Again, this is all energy about creating and manifesting what we want. Then we've got a full moon in Sagittarius at the end of the month, which is sort of like the big finale where the Venus-Uranus-Jupiter conjunction that I mentioned is like bang on. So under this full moon, this is where we really, really, really want to manifest and put out there what it is that we want to create, because straight after that full moon in Sagittarius, we've got another transit, which is just next level amazing. So I'll start to unpack all of this. But one of the key things to understand for the month of May is that the first half of May, Taurus energy is at its absolute peak. So we've got the Sun, Venus, Jupiter, and Uranus all in the sign of Taurus. And then Mercury moves into the sign of Taurus on the 15th of May. And if we have a think about Taurus energy, it's the second house, which is the money house, but it's also about our values and about what it is that we want to create. And so it's a really powerful place to create from. And Taurus energy is really, really creative. It understands the value of things. It sees the beauty in things. And it's about, honoring that beauty and creativity, within ourselves and honoring our self-worth as well, particularly because over the last couple of months, we've had Mercury as well as Chiron in the sign of Aries. And that's really been hitting on the, who am I? What am I here to do? But people that it's been hitting on your Chiron in your chart, it's brought up issues of, your identity. What am I here to do? What is this wound? that I need to work through. And so with these energies now moving into Taurus, it's about stepping into this is who I am, honoring my self-worth. This is what I want to create. So starting to use that energy. We've gone through the healing period. A lot of my clients that I've done work with over the last few months, it's been those key Chiron issues that have come up. So now it's time to move on from that and find the gift that's in Chiron and really start creating. So that's the first half of May. The second half of May, Jupiter moves into the sign of Gemini. Now, Jupiter changes signs only once in every 12-month period. So with Jupiter changing signs, this is really important because it redirects our focus. And so when we think about Jupiter in Gemini, this is about inspiring us to take action, but it's about communicating our ideas. It's about collaborating. It's about sharing. It's about communicating. Gemini is the storyteller of the zodiac. We're networking. We're doing our PR. We're getting people on board. So it's a shift in that energy. But let's go back to the start of May and talk about...
Well, actually, as you talk, Tanya, let me just jump in there and say, when you're telling us that we are moving into this is who I am, this is what I want to create, from the who am I, what am I here to do, I am listening to you going, oh, thank goodness for that.
Yes, because these Chiron issues can be quite heavy. It's a lot to take on board and it's a lot to process. But you know what? When you do the work and you do that processing and you unpack what that wound is and you start working on it, the gifts that come through are absolutely phenomenal. And we realize that those gifts are coming through to give us strengths that we really didn't know that we had. But we're like, actually, you know what? As painful as that is a major, major strength that I can leverage and draw upon. So now, though, it's time to put things into action. Now, for some people, the start of May might have been a little bit stressful. So particularly if you've got planets from between 1 to 3 degrees of the fixed signs, which is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, and that's because Pluto retrograded on the 2nd of May. And if you've got a wide sort of aspect, you're not going to feel it as much. It needs to be a really strong connection between 1 to 3 degrees. So it could be themes as power struggles or transformation or needing psychological depth. Or with fixed signs, people with fixed signs struggle to let go of a grudge. They struggle to compromise sometimes. They struggle to take on other people's, thoughts and ideas. So they can be a little bit black and white about it. So if there's change that's been thrust upon you in the last few days and you're struggling against it, something to consider is you might be struggling more than usual with Pluto retrograding. So it does intensify that. Now, Pluto retrogrades until the 12th of October, but during that time in September, it's actually going to slip back into the sign of Capricorn. And this is the final time that we're going to see Pluto in the sign of Capricorn, because we've had Pluto in Capricorn for the last 20 years. So as we revisit Pluto back in Capricorn, if there's anything that needs to shift, anything that's still sitting there that we need to work through, it's going to come up for us, okay? Particularly if it's hitting on your chart between 1 to 3 degrees of those fixed signs that I mentioned. So that's the first thing. After that, May is just amazing. So we've got Mars in a beautiful sextile to Pluto from the 2nd to 5th of May, which is actually pushing us to make change. It's giving us this energy to make change. And then we've got a succession of transits that are really, really magical. And these transits are pushing us to see things in a whole new light, to make these changes. Yet at the same time, it's actually showing us that we can conjure up these new solutions, new creations, new opportunities. So it's a really great time to get out there. And I cannot emphasize enough, the month of May, it's about feeling the fear. Like if you're scared to set up a meeting with someone to pitch your ideas, you've got to do it. You've got to put yourself out there. It's the time to make those meetings, schedule those meetings, launch any products, promote yourself. It's really about getting yourself out there. Okay, so I'm going to say that straight up. We've really got to grow some balls if we want to get the results that we need. Seriously.
Okay. I needed that one.
But you don't get a succession of transits like this in a whole month like this. Like it's a really rare month in astrology because, yes, Pluto's retrograde, but no other planets are retrograde. Okay, so everything's working for us. So let's start for the new moon in Taurus. So this is happening on the 7th or 8th of May, depending on your location. And right before the new moon, Venus is aspecting the moon. So it's bang on. So it's going to feel really lovely. The energy is going to feel really lovely. But as I mentioned at the start, the sun is starting to form those conjunctions I mentioned with Venus, Jupiter, and Uranus. So if you read anywhere on Facebook or Instagram or whatever that this new moon, if you read a post that is so over the top about these energies, the person's not quite getting the significance of these conjunctions. So they're wide conjunctions. They're not close, they're not exact, they're wide. So when it's wide, it means that these energies are new and they're fresh. And so they're starting to form. So this is about us tapping into what it is that we want to create and starting to plant those seeds. And by that, what I mean is starting to come up with the ideas, come up with the concepts, come up with the plans that you want. So with a new moon, it's the time to start things. So it's starting to take that action. And what's really lovely about this new moon is that it's in a sextile aspect to Saturn. And so Saturn brings that feeling of security and confidence. But what I love about Saturn is that it wants us to work towards our goals, because this is about building something long term. So this is about tapping into the ideas, the creations, what it is that we want to create, but it's long term stuff. And so Saturn helps us to focus and concentrate on what actually needs our attention. We need to be disciplined. We need to be practical. We need to be patient. This is not about crossing our fingers and hoping things work. We have to put the work in, but it's being disciplined about it. And so with this new moon in Taurus, when we're really in tune with our values and what's important to us, we're confident expressing this. This is what this new moon is all about. It's about building our confidence to go after what we want and starting to take those steps, because this newly formed conjunction with Venus, Jupiter, and Uranus, it's sowing the seed. So it's phenomenal new moon. Like, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Then straight after the new moon, we've got the sun conjunct Uranus, and this is at 23 degrees of Taurus from the 12th to the 14th of May. And what's beautiful about this is Uranus really gives us that energy to do things differently, to look at things differently, to be innovative, and to jump on opportunities as well. It's helping us to kickstart, to put things in motion. Then we've got Venus sextile Saturn. So Venus is at 17 degrees in Taurus and Pisces at 17 degrees in Saturn. And that's from the 14th to the 15th of May. So again, that energy of Saturn, it's very grounding. And it's wanting us to look at things long term. What do we want to create long term? What plans do we need to put in place? And it's taking things seriously, but it's also honoring what it is that we want to create as well. Venus and Saturn together are really amazing for business and for progressing opportunities, because it's not, how do you put it? Completely forgot the saying that I was going to say, but it's not a fantasy. It's not ideas that we're not going to progress. Saturn's really, really grounding. So coming together, those energies are fantastic. And then on the 15th of May, Mercury moves into the sign of Taurus. And as I mentioned earlier, it's like, oh, thank goodness, Mercury is finally out of the sign of Aries, because that was heavy going. There was some heavy lifting that we had to do. But at the same time, we've had some really massive insights. And some of those might have been like, what the, F with those.
I get it.
Love is having, but you know what? They're the ones where the penny drops and we're like, yep, okay, I get it now. I know what I need to do. I know what this is teaching me, and I know how I can use this and leverage this as a gift. And we can move on from this now with Mercury moving into the sign of Taurus, because Mercury in Taurus, it's really about tapping into our values, our creativity, and really honoring our instincts around what it is that we want to pursue, but also how we want to make money. With Taurus being the second house, which is the money house, they have amazing instincts on what's going to make money, where the value is, and how they can use something to create money and create wealth. One of my former neighbors from a long time ago had multiple planets in Taurus, and he had one of the most successful businesses in Byron Bay and made a huge amount of money when he sold that. And then he bought up other different businesses that he knew would make money. And he just had the most phenomenal taste. Like his instincts were really spot on. And so for anyone that's got multiple planets in Taurus, it's really about trusting those instincts, because Taurus energy, sometimes they can really doubt themselves if they haven't practiced that art of putting into motion what their instincts are and then realizing, oh, wow, I was right on that. Oh, wow, I was spot on. My instincts were spot on. So it's really about trusting and testing and trusting and testing, because Taurians, their instincts are spot on and they feel it in their body. They know when something's going to work. They know when something's not going to work. Their body tells them. So can't emphasize enough for people with multiple planets in Taurus, if these transits are hitting on your chart, you really need to trust your instincts, because your body will tell you. Okay, now after Mercury enters Taurus, and like I said at the start, it feels quite surreal, all these amazing transits that we've got. But I don't tell you a lie. These are the amazing transits that we've got. The Sun is conjunct Jupiter, and that's at 28 degrees of Taurus, and that's between the 17th and the 20th of May. Now, the Sun is all about us. It's about the core of us. It's what makes us, it's what's really, really important to us. It's who we are. Whereas Jupiter, it's about our faith, it's about our beliefs, it's about optimism, but it's also about our growth, and it's also about opportunity. So it's bringing those two energies together. And it's really encouraging us to believe in ourselves, to believe in our ideas, to believe in our goals, and to have that faith and optimism that the path that we're on is the right path for us, and to really, really pursue what it is that we're passionate about. Because we also have at sort of the same time, Mars is conjunct the North Node destiny point at 14 degrees Aries from the 17th to the 19th of May. And Mars hitting on the North Node, it's reminding us about our purpose. It's reminding us, who we are. Our North Node is the path that we're going on in this lifetime. And Mars is giving us the energy and the drive to go after what we want. So it's really pushing us, which is fantastic. And also at the same time, Venus is conjunct Uranus at 23 degrees of Taurus from the 18th to the 19th of May. So again, this is really lucky. So if we're putting the work in, we're backing ourselves, we're clear on our purpose, we're going after what we want, Venus conjunct Uranus is a bit like the wild card, because if we're putting ourselves out there, we're setting up meetings, we're talking to key people, we're doing the work that we need to do, we can manifest some phenomenal outcomes. And that's what happens when Venus and Uranus come together, because Venus it's all about our values, our creativity. It's about love as well. But conjunct Uranus brings surprises. It brings breakthroughs. It brings, phenomenal ideas. And it can be really different ideas, different ways of doing things. So it's opening us up to see the world differently and do things differently. Like, it's a very, very exciting energy. And then from the 19th to the 21st of May, the Sun is sextile Neptune. So the Sun at 29 degrees Taurus and Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces, they come together in a lovely sextile aspect, which again, like, that energy is just absolutely beautiful. And it's showing us that anything is possible. And it can feel a little bit idealistic, but it's really pushing us to create. And then on the 20th of May, the Sun enters Gemini. So it moves from Taurus into Gemini. So we're starting to transition into that Gemini energy slowly, but we've got Venus conjunct Jupiter, and this is at 29 degrees of Taurus from the 22nd to the 24th of May. So again, lucky. Any meetings that you can set around this time, it's the opportune time to be pitching to someone, getting your ideas out there, getting that pitch happening. And then the Sun is trine Pluto. So the Sun at 2 degrees Gemini. So the Sun's moved into Gemini now, trine Pluto at 2 degrees Aquarius. And this is happening between the 22nd and the 24th of May. So the Sun in a trine aspect to Pluto, it's really powerful energy, because like I mentioned before, the Sun represents who we are at our core. Whereas Pluto, it's about transformation. It's about power, and it's about using our power in really positive ways that have positive outcomes. And the sun and a trine aspect is a lucky aspect. So again, some opportunities can start to take under these energies. So again, really, really powerful time. And then Jupiter is sextile Neptune. So Jupiter at 29 degrees is sextile Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces from the 23rd to the 24th of May. So again, it's that beautiful, beautiful energy supporting us. And this is all leading up to a full moon in Sagittarius. So the full moon in Sagittarius is at 2 degrees of Sag, and that's happening on the 23rd of May. And this full moon is super, super, super potent. Like, I can't emphasize enough how potent this full moon is. And just drawing on that, a lot of people have very fixed ideas about how they manifest under the new moon and what they do under the full moon. And a lot of people believe that you only manifest under the new moon. And I want to just share right here and right now, that's one big fallacy. The new moon, absolutely, it's a great time for manifesting, depending on the energies that are happening at the time. And it's a great time to get things started. But what happens under the full moon is the moon is full. So the energy is very, very different than the energy at a new moon. The new moon, the energy is starting to form and it's starting to build up. But at a full moon, it's at its peak. So if we are wanting attention, so whether it's a product we're launching, promotions, whatever it is that you want to get out there in the world, you want to do it when the energies are at their peak. So this full moon is a really, really, really powerful time to use it if you're trying to get the word out there, trying to promote something. It's even amazing for manifesting because the aspects to Jupiter, Venus, and Neptune, and the full moon's trine Pluto, which is really powerful, it is super, super, super potent because these aspects, they're bang on. They're not 4 degrees, 5 degrees, 6 degrees separating, which they are at the new moon. They are bang on. So you can't get a more powerful full moon than this. So we want to manifest purpose-driven goals. We want to manifest getting things out there in the world and increasing our following or having a TikTok that goes viral or something like that. But we can get really deep and important insights as well as conjure really creative ideas. And so when we manifest under these really lucky stars, the end result that we create can be something that, we might not even be able to comprehend right now. But anything is possible under this full moon. How does that sound, Brenda?
Oh my gosh. It's like I'm making notes. I don't know about the other listeners, but I'm making notes and I've gone right from, I think I should take a holiday in September with what you were saying about Capricorn, but that aside, I'm really excited too because I know that numerology tells me it's a number 8 year, which is already powerful for manifesting. So put that in with all these incredible transits that you're talking about and all the language you're using, which I won't attempt to repeat, but it's amazing. And I was one of those people who thought it was new moon was the time to manifest. I'm all for this really stepping up and making the most of this big full moon energy that's coming up for us.
Oh, awesome. I'm excited that you're going to do that because the full moon is full of so much opportunity. The thing with the full moon, though, is that we have to, whatever it is that we're wanting to manifest, we have to do it before the full moon is exact. Whereas with the new moon, when you manifest, you're waiting for the new moon to already hit. And then as the energy is building, you manifest. If we wait till after the full moon and the energy is starting to contract, we've lost that opportunity. So that's the key insight there.
Okay. So that's 23rd of May, you said that it hits?
23rd of May, yes.
Okay.
I'll give you the times. It'll be the 24th of May in New Zealand because in LA, it's going to be 6:53 a.m., New York 9:53 a.m., London 2:53 p.m., Sydney 11:53 p.m., which would mean that it would be on the 24th of May. Are we 3 hours different?
Two. Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be 1:53 a.m. on the 24th in New Zealand.
Okay.
Oh.
okay. I know what I'm doing on the 23rd before I retire for the evening.
Awesome. Now, straight after the full moon, we've got some great transits as well. So Venus is trine Pluto, and that Venus is at 2 degrees Gemini and Pluto at 2 degrees Aquarius. And that's happening on the 25th to the 26th of May. Venus trine Pluto, it's amazing time to meet someone. If you meet someone under those energies, you could meet someone that the relationship is, it's not just this amazing attraction, but it's got depth. There's substance there. It's not just a physical fling. There's more to it than that. So
single ladies, watch out. I'm liking the sound of this.
So that's from a potential relationship perspective. But in terms of our ideas and our creations and business, we can also manifest some really great outcomes, because Venus is all about our values and money and what it is that we want to create. And Pluto is about transformation and bringing that depth. We can have some really great insights in terms of investments as well. If that's hitting on your chart, that could be a great time to really tune into what type of investments can I be making that opportune for me right now. And then Jupiter is trine Pluto. So this is from the 30th of May to the 7th of June. So Jupiter is at 1 degree of Gemini, and it's in a beautiful trine aspect to 1 degree Aquarius. And it's exact on the 3rd of June, but happening between the 30th of May to the 7th of June. So Jupiter trine Pluto is mega, mega, mega powerful energy. So Jupiter is about our growth. It's about our vision. It's about what it is what's our purpose, what it is that we want to create. And Pluto, again, it's about transformation and power. So we can marry those energies together. We can create something super, super powerful. So again, it's a really great time to be getting out there, getting yourselves in front of people, setting up those meetings, making things happen. And then the sun is conjunct Venus at 15 degrees Gemini from the 1st to the 8th of June, exact on the 5th of June. And again, that's just beautiful energy. Sun conjunct Venus is fun. Like it is, such fun energy. So if you need to be entertaining clients or taking out new prospective clients to try and bring in business or collaborate, it's a fun energy. Remembering that Gemini energy is fun, it's engaging, it's collaborative. As soon as the sun and Jupiter start energizing each other in this sign of Gemini, it's all about collaboration. It's all about working with each other, forming those partnerships and having some fun. Gemini energy, though, it's incredibly smart. It's really smart energy. So you've got to make sure that whoever that you're meeting with, you are super, super, super prepared, because you need to really impress them on that mental level, impress them intellectually as well as having fun. And you have that type of engagement, it's going to be awesome. Like,
I have to let you know. I have to let you know. Sorry, listeners, but just for a moment, me. I am actually in Santorini with my business coaches exactly on that time. It's all about that depth and unpacking the business. Where do I want to take it from here? And there are only about 6 of us attending. So it's all about smart minds coming together, collaborating. And I'm just sitting here going, woohoo.
You're sitting there clapping and woohooing. And I'm like, there's a story here. I need to hear this.
Thank you so much for that good news.
Like I said at the start, May, early June is full on, but it's full on from this perspective of really magical energy. And it's really about us, like I said, growing some balls and they're calculated risks. They're calculated risks in terms of pursuing our dreams, pursuing our growth, putting ourselves out there, setting up important meetings, networking, doing the PR. But when I say it's taking risks, it's about backing ourselves. And when we back ourselves, these energies are here to support us.
And I can't recommend highly enough, listeners, actually checking out booking a personal reading with Tanya, because then you go deeper into this and it's actually your own personal chart and how this relates. And the detail is phenomenal, and you can really use that to make the most of this time. I'm certainly booking my business one and looking at when I launch my second book. So I practice what I preach here. I've always had phenomenally amazing experiences with you when you do a reading. It's fantastic.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. Your feedback means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And look, my calendar, there's not a lot of space on my calendar.
I'm not surprised.
I've got a lot going on, but look, I can't recommend enough. If you want a reading and you can't see a spot there, just message me. All my details are on Facebook. You can message me on WhatsApp or Messenger, or my email's there. Just, message me and we can always work something out.
Yeah, and I'll put all the contact details in the show notes, listeners, so that you've got those there. And we'll definitely get you back again, Tanya. There's just so much happening. I think it's worthwhile doing, we've got our own reading here. It's another channel for people to reach you. Yeah.
Absolutely. And maybe we could do something different next time. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have a look. I'll have a look at June and July maybe, and we'll see if we can do something a little bit different. Yeah?
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much for joining me again. I'm forever grateful, and a great time to remind you, listeners, to subscribe to whatever channel you choose to listen to 5 a.m. Tuesday on, because then you'll get an alert and you'll know exactly when Tanya's going to be joining us again.
Thanks, Brenda.
Pleasure.
And to sign off, I hope you've been inspired to choose consciously, choose wisely, and most importantly, choose you. See you next week.